Hey everyone, so one thing I wanted to talk about today was ageism in business. I'm going to tell a story, but I'm doing this video because most of you watching this, about 50% of you, are under the age of 24. And most of you are between the ages of 18 and 24. And pretty much everyone on my channel is younger than 33, which is great. That's the kind of audience I want to talk to. So I will tell you about this experience and the experiences that I've had being in a business field for 5 years and being a young person in the business field. I mean, the youngest person that I've talked to through the hundreds of people that I've met through, pretty much real estate. That's the main avenue that I talk to people in, mortgages and banks and stuff. The youngest person I've talked to is 33. And it's been that I was 18 when I started in this field in real estate. The youngest person I've talked to, apart from myself, was 33 years old. And most people are around 40 or 50 for the most part. And I've talked to millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires. I've talked to a lot of people. Now, I'm making this video because of one thing that happened. I went to the bank to open up another business account. And because I started branching out into a different kind of business field, and I wanted to open another account to keep the expenses and income separate. So I went to the bank and, I started explaining a lot of things. So I started explaining how, I've been in real estate, and I started explaining, I've done some YouTube stuff, I've done some education stuff, some consulting stuff. And she says, these are her words, I'm not exaggerating this in any way. What gives you the authority to do that? Because I was so young, is what she's trying to say. Now I did get pretty mad at her, and if I wasn't trying to open an account with lower fees, I would have let her have a piece of my mind like I have with other people. But this was tough. So I've experienced a lot of stuff in real estate. I mean, dealing with people, I guess I was 22 when I got my license. What do you know about home ownership? What do you know about real estate? You're 22. What the hell do you know about anything about real estate? Meanwhile, at that point, I was 22. I'd already been in the real estate game for 4 years in my job. So I kind of had to know my stuff already. The real estate exams were super easy because I knew everything already. So again, what a lot of people in business will have to go through if you are not self-employed and if you don't have clients that are a lot older than you, you will have to go through this. People think that because you are younger than them by a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, that you're immediately a stupid person and don't know anything about anything. That's just what happens. I know. My boss is a great guy, super nice. He thinks I don't know anything about anything. He thinks that I'm a genius in tech stuff and social media and stuff. I'm like, by the way, that's something you should use to your advantage, by the way. People assume that because you're young, you know everything about technology and social media and all that stuff. And if you are young, you can go up to some old person's small business and say, hey, I'll run this social media for you. And they'll just assume you know what you're doing because you're a young person and know social media, right? That's a way to take advantage of this. But it's just weird if you don't have wrinkles on your face and maybe if you have a little bit of acne or something, people will assume that you don't know shit about business. Yeah, it's just tough. It's something that I've had to deal with for years and years and years. But when all of a sudden, when someone mentions, I don't know, certain types of mortgages and mortgage rates and mortgage terms versus amortization and stuff. One guy explained to me, he was trying to explain to me mortgages. I remember these bank people were in. And before talking, he was about to talk to me about how mortgage terms are different from amortization. I cut him off and said, I know the difference already. I've looked into this. I know what I'm doing. And that guy wasn't actually too much older than me. He was probably about 31. So he might have been the youngest person I've actually talked to. The other person was 33. But it's just something that you're going to have to deal with. So this bank lady said, what authority do you have about selling real estate, about teaching people about business, about educating people? And in my head, I'm like, I can guarantee 2 things, that I know more than you, and I'm going to make more money than you this year. those two things, and you're trying to say, I don't know anything about, and she could see it too. I was giving her my numbers about what I'd made, and like, she couldn't, it just really, really, really bothered me, is what I'm trying to say. And you're gonna experience it too. Hopefully that, but you know what? I should say that most of the stuff is not like flat out like the lady, like what she's flat out said, like what authority do you have? Most people are gonna just be like subtle things, like thinking you don't know something. So like the guy trying to explain to me more what the mortgage term was, right? Just subtle things like that. And you know, people trying to explain to you like what, I don't even know what an interest rate is, right? I know I try to teach that to you guys, but you guys are looking for the specifically typing in what is their interest rate, right? That's different. It's most people will have those subtle things. Most older people will be subtly assume that you don't know anything, but most of them are still really nice people. I mean, I've talked to I think that I've talked to probably 15 to 20 people that have a net worth over $50 million. And I've met with 2 people now who at the time were worth hundreds of millions, but I think that now they're approaching billionaire territory in Canada. But they were super, it's kind of funny how their mind works too. So I remember that meeting where like they were walking into, they were real estate developers and and owners, and they kind of do the whole shebang, right? They do everything in real estate. And like they were walking into $1 million property, seeing it for the first time. They're like, yeah, okay, this will do. I think that we'll probably take it. I'll get everything out to you by tomorrow, and hopefully we can get this done. That's all that happened. Like, and this property is like $1 million. I remember that. I'll never, never, never forget that. But yeah, so you're going to experience some sort of ageism in business, but use that to your advantage. You're going to get underestimated. Surprise people. That's what I say. You should surprise people. I mean, if you're going to, I don't know, if someone just assumes you don't know anything about business, maybe just subtly drop in like hints, just like, oh, hey, you know, I was looking up something on the Tesla stock, and I saw that they had jumped up like 2% in the past 4 weeks or something like that. And maybe you're in an art industry and you drop that, like, fuck. They'll be blown back. They'll fall out of their chair. But yeah, just knowing stuff, like people were explaining to me PE ratios and cap rates, and I'm like, guys, I've been in the game 5 years, man. I've been doing research since I was 14. I know what they are. Like, why are you explaining this to me? I wouldn't be here talking to you if I didn't know my shit. That's something that like I wish that everyone that I met with knew. Like, I wouldn't be physically, you are a multimillionaire. I am not. I would not be standing here in front of you if I didn't know what I was talking about. That's kind of the way the world works. If you don't know your shit, you don't have a job, you aren't able to talk to these people. That's what I'm trying to say. So again, use it to your advantage. And man, just from my experience, it is something you're gonna have to deal with if you are in the business field, unfortunately. And hopefully you can surprise a lot of people. And you know what? What's kind of funny is that some of the people that talked down to me in the last 5 years, I'm gonna make more money than some of them this year. That's the way the world works. One of them I've met a lot. I've talked to a lot, and I'm gonna make a lot more money than him this year, which makes me feel good. But isn't that weird? It's kind of like a little bit of spite. I'm not too cynical for the most part. I want everyone to do well, but like if I were to make $100,000 this year, that's gonna be a lot more than he makes this year, which is great. Anyways, that's a whole side rant. I had to talk about this, guys, because I've been through the ringer so much. Most of you haven't even gone to business school yet, aren't in university, aren't in college, haven't gone to your first job, haven't gone to a corporate job yet. You're gonna experience this shit. I'm telling you straight out, and you're gonna have to deal with it. So just make sure after you go through the job interview, make sure you know your shit, and make sure you're okay with kind of putting up with some shit, because you don't want to, even though it's good to like confront your boss sometimes, it's not good to think that you know everything better than your boss. Because if you did know everything better than your boss and you had experience and all that, you would probably have your own successful business right now. Even if you think you know your shit, sometimes you don't know the right shit, is what I'm trying to say. Like, for example, my boss, who I really like a lot, like the guy's done so much for me, so many favors, and I will never know as much about starting franchise businesses as him and running bricks and mortar businesses as him. There's no chance I'll ever do that. I just won't. I mean, he's opened up, I don't know how many stores he owns. It's got to be, I think he just did another one. He's probably up to 10 now. And if you include 2 more that and he's partnered in one that has a 60 chain. So, I mean, and he's done real estate deals, helping people set up businesses and stuff. I will never, ever, ever know as much about bricks and mortar businesses as he will. It's just the way it is. And so, do I think I can run it better? No. Do I think that occasionally there's something I might know better about marketing or advertising for those companies? Yeah. I mean, yeah. But I would never go up to him and be like, you should run your bricks and mortar businesses this way. Because I don't think that you're running them well enough. You know what he would have done to me? He's like, there's the door. You can get the fuck out. So that's what I'm trying to say here. You can occasionally make some suggestions, but don't confront your boss because they've set up a successful company if you're hired already. And maybe you can as I said, drop some suggestions, maybe drop some knowledge on them once in a while, some stuff that they might not know and that you know, and maybe it'll help improve your position in the company if you're an employee. But hopefully you guys will be self-employed and running $1 million businesses. So that's my rant on ageism in business, what I've experienced. Hopefully you guys do not have to go through that, but you probably will. So anyways, that's it. I love you guys. I love your faces. I'll see you guys in the next video.